follow and just be that role model for them. But they were my role model. I would like to thank my friends who have come out. They are my Bowie friends. They were in college with me. And they came out with their wives and shared this moment with me. And I would like to thank them too for coming out and sharing this moment with me. Thank you so much. I would like to thank my children and my grandkids for coming out and sharing this moment with me, and also my brother-in-law, who took the time out to come and celebrate this day with me. Even though they don't know about my accomplishments because they weren't born. Yeah, they do now because they all say, Mom, I don't need you play basketball. I don't need you to get this. I don't need you to do that. So I hope they believe it today. I accept this award on behalf of all of my friends, my family, and my brothers and sisters. Because without them, this would not be possible for me. I didn't get this way on my own. I got here because of them. Because the West and the Sandra Wood folks paved the way for me to get to where I am today. And my family who supported me and worked for me to get to where I am today. And as the song goes, there's no me without you. Also, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a team to win a game. And it took all of you in order for me to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I thank you once again, and I love you all, and may God be with you all always. Thank you. Also, I just wanted to say this, and I'm going to go down. In 2010, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I am a survivor. And I also want to say that I want everyone, ladies, men, to go and get checked. Men get breast cancer too. So go and get your mammograms, your sonograms done, get your colonoscopy, tongue tied, and your prostate checked out. Because I want you all to do that because I am a survivor and God is good.
To call my party up to introduce Cardozo.
Okay, back again. This is going to be quick, but when I grew up, and in the area where I grew up, not too far from Cardozo, guys would talk from the playground. We didn't have ESPN, and we didn't have George Michael at the time on SportsCenter, but guys would sit around the tree box after the game and they talked about it. And they used to always talk about, and it'd be the same guys in the neighborhood. Billy Gaskin, Ed Epps, Lynn Green, actually guys even that we played against, Larry Watson, Lamar McCoy, Larry Featherstone, all these guys grew up and used to watch them play. And they always talk about this coach of Cardozo. And they used to talk about he was cool Papadini. And and I just was, listening to guys talk about him. I had never seen him, never just heard him talk about him. And so we one day, some friends of mine, we were up on 11th Street because in the neighborhood again, I know it's not a lot of guys, and Kimbrough, you my age, but a little older, but Street and Smith was the only thing that you read by. You got Street and Smith and you read it from cover to cover because that was the only way you got information on people. And so the other way was that people would talk about people on the playground. And people were talking about this guy, Cool Papa Dean, like he was a god. And they talk about him and things. And so myself and a bunch of my friends had been playing up at DC Teachers one evening, and we were walking back. This is a true story. Not bringing nothing up in here that's not true. But it was coming back down 11th Street, and one of the guys, the car was coming up 11th Street, Bonneville, and somebody yelled and said, "I look like Coach Dean." And we said, "Man, that ain't no Coach Dean." And somebody said, "Yeah." Then we hollered, we said, "Coach Dean!" And he got up there and he pulled his hand out the way. We said, "This Coach Dean." We said, "Coach Dean, yeah." We were in the street. And then the Bonneville started to make a U-turn. True story. There was about 5 of us. We were mesmerized. He came back down, rolled down the window, and said, "What y'all doing?" It was drizzling outside. We were in windbreak. Could have been this time of year. And we were all in the window. "Hey, Coach Dean, what you?" He said, "What y'all doing?" I said, "Man, we was up here DC Teacher playing ball." He said, "Yeah, is that right?" He said, "Y'all ain't good?" We said, "Yeah, we good, we good." He said, "What school y'all going to?" We said, "Cardozo." We're going to Cardozo. He said, "Yeah." We didn't even realize he probably was recruiting, in down the road. But we said, "We going to Cardozo." We got back to our neighborhood and swear to God, not one person would believe that Coach Dean had done what he did, pulled around. We kept saying, "Coach Dean, oh man," the old kids said, "Coach Dean ain't come around." We said, "Yes, he did." I'm telling you, we get around the guys now today, we'll tell that story, and the older guys say, "Man, Coach Dean ain't stopped for y'all." But he turned around and he came back down. My next door neighbor, nobody here knows, but a real good friend of mine, I lived in apartment 1. And he lived in apartment 3, and we used to just do everything together. And when we were in school, we would leave school and we would walk up to Roosevelt High School. That's where Cardozo played their games. And at that time, when young people, see, they think they don't understand in high. All those games was packed. People were at the door, and they were letting a few people go in. And as they let them go in, we squeezed on in and pushed in and got down. When that was the first time I had gone to the game, I remember I sat down and I looked up, and this guy he was clean, had a suit on and walking back, and there he was, because people used to always talk about that he wore shades on the inside. And I looked around and I said, "There he is, a guy on shade." I turned to my boy and I said, "He does have on shade." And he was over there, and that was the first time. And then I got to see everything else that was going on. The cheerleaders were doing the clip mumbo, and the crowd was in there, and the ball went up, and the whole crowd was saying, "Whoosh." And I turned to my boy and I said, "Man, this was the best thing." I knew at that point, well, no way. I knew I was going to Cardozo before them, but now it was nothing that was going to stop me from going to Cardozo, because it seemed like obviously so much fun to come up here and play. Coach Dean had his hands and he was out there doing that. We was talking, "Oh man, look at that." And they had Lynn Ring, they had Eddie Ups, they had guys, they had Vaughn. And these were the same guys that we saw in the neighborhood playing. And now they were out there. Cardozo always had a smoking team. I mean, really, really good team. Not just, because all these guys were from the neighborhood. And so we was watching them play. And I wrote down a couple of them just for the heck of writing them down. And I know Billy Gaston, Lynn Green, Coach, Ed Ups, along with Lionel Harris, all passed away. And I made, these guys and a lot of guys would be here, but I wrote down Graveyard, Roosevelt James. I got Von Kimbrough on the list. Eugene Akins, who actually went to my elementary school. Nathan Kennedy, Larry Jackson, Mal Gwynn, got him on my list. Donnell Bullock, passed away. Tyrone Harris, Bill Harris, and then you got Red Mike, Black Mike Jackson, Don Shoulders. And I know I'm missing some others, but as you remember, and I mentioned earlier, I put Lamar McCoy He went to Western competitor. Larry Feathers went to Bell. Larry Featherstone went to Bell. Larry Watson went to Western. And Louis Jumper West went to East. Those are some wars. Those were some wars. I'm not going to mention any Bell players. Miss Cowley over there, we used to beat up on him, but that, we won't even go there, coach. We'll leave it alone for right now. But those were some great games, and it was some great times, and there was some great fun. And it was the first time I ever heard a chant. When those was up, the people would jump up and say, near the end of the game, get your hat, your coat. They point to the door and say, and leave. And they would get your hat, your coat, and leave. And I just said, I got to go up here and play for Coach Dean. There's no way that I cannot go about and not play for Coach Dean. So what happened was I got an opportunity to go up there. And I remember the first game that I was ever played. We went down Maggie Walker, and I was wearing Donnell Bullock, an idol of mine's, number 3. And we down to Maggie Walker, and the first time I got in the game, I walked out on the floor, and honest to God, I looked at him down and I said, here I am. I got number 3 on, and there's my coach over there. I'm playing for the guy that got the shades on, cool Papa B, and I'm right there playing. And it was like a miracle for me. For me at that time, because he was bigger than life. And so you get to the point to where it's now you playing for the guy that was bigger than life. That was just, for me, I could have just said, take me, Lord. I can go right now. Everything is over. So anyway, I did want to give you some of the facts that I wrote down. I think he has some in his bio, but Coach Dean was an all CIAA player. His high school coach is here also. As was saying, at Virginia State, though. He was an all-CIAA player at Virginia State. He coached while he was in the Army at Fort Benning, Georgia. He also coached at Howard. I think he was a freshman team while he was getting his master's. In 1967, he was the coach of the year in the Inner High, and he had a bomb squad then. I know in 1968, I was on the team, and we went to the championship team, and we weren't nearly as good as the 67 team, but the 68, we went to the championship, and McKinley Tech, in the back, McKinley Tech had the Magnificent 7. They had like maybe 4 potential pro players on that team, and they just blew us out. They took us to school. Excuse me, but I wanted to say that the thing I learned from that, and Coach Dean taught me a lot of things, but the thing I learned from that was how to lose. Because I remember after the game, Coach Dean wasn't upset. He was as cool as a cucumber, and he just said, he thanked us after the game for playing so hard for him. He thanked us. And I thought that was a strange thing. Years later, I understood, but it actually gave me an idea about how to win and how to lose. Because I thought probably losing, you throw something against the wall, you kick something or something like that. But you would have to be able to lose graciously, and Coach Dean taught me that. His record at Cardozo was 51-10, and he's also a member of the Virginia State Hall of Fame. When I actually was an assistant coach, we played Coach Dean's team, and at that time there was an academic coordinator on our bench, and Coach Dean came in. I swear to God, he had a suit on and a briefcase. He had a briefcase going to a basketball game, and he came in. He came over. He said hello to me. He said hello to the academic coordinator. And he spoke to my the guy who worked for the head coach. And when he walked away, the academic coordinator said, Mike, is Harold Dean like that all the time? I said, Mr. Finland, swear to God, like that all the time. He's been like that ever since I know him. He's a complete gentleman. And if anybody in here knows, it's the signature shake. Coach Dean shake. Just like that. Don't shake your hand. It's right here where it gets you. And everybody know that. I was at school, I worked now at the university, and our team, the volleyball team, went down to play Virginia State. And one of the girls came back up, and she said, Coach Dean said, say hello. And then she said, and this is a true story, she came up to me and she said, You know